Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars, welcome to another PlayStation 5 review. Well, I say PlayStation 5. I've actually played this on my PlayStation 5, but it's a PlayStation 4 release if you want to be technical about it. Right, what am I reviewing today? Well, it is Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. This game was due for release last year, obviously, but because of the COVID pandemic delaying the Olympics until, I think it 4 or 5 days away now, the Olympics, this game was also delayed. So there are actually videos on YouTube of people playing this game last year. Obviously, they were given copies of it in the anticipation of it being released before the Olympic Games. However, it has now been released. It's been out probably a week and a half ago, something like that, on the PlayStation Store. I wasn't initially going to bother with it, but there's been so many poor releases. Well, there hasn't been any releases recently for Xbox or PlayStation, really. Nothing's really good anyway. I thought I'd give this one a go because, to be honest, like these sort of sports Olympic games, I've played all the time ever since I was a teenager, really. You know, I've played the Daley Thompson's Decathlon and all the other, like the track and field games that you used to play years ago. They're really addictive and, you know, thumb busting games, and, you know, quite fun to play and quite disposable. You can put them on for an hour or two and then turn them off, and, you know, other than getting a little bit angry and frustrated with them, they're actually quite a lot of fun to play. So what do we get with this newest addition then to, like, the Olympic Games foray into computer games? Well, Sega here has released an Olympic Games video game that has got 18 events in total in it. Now, that's actually quite a lot of events. They've actually tried to be, I think, quite varied here in their approach to the events, the different types of events, but I am disappointed to see that there isn't things like, there's no javelin, there's no high jump, there's no rowing, there's no shooting, shot put, or weightlifting, like some of the ones that you kind of traditionally see in these type of games. But what you do get in this game, and I'll run through the events, you get 100 meters, you get baseball, 110 meters hurdles, basketball, hammer throw, football, long jump, beach volleyball, 100 meters freestyle, and that's swimming, 200 meters medley, again that's swimming, table tennis, normal tennis, BMX, boxing, climbing, rugby sevens, 4 times 100 meters relay, and judo. So you get actually quite a varied number of events here, which I do appreciate. I think they've tried to vary their approach to kind of appeal to everybody across the world, I suppose. Now, when you start this game, you're given the option of being a male character or a female character, and you can fully customize that character, and it's actually quite deep customization. I was quite impressed. So you get to choose what kind of body shape, your height, and fully customize how you look, your hairstyle, your facial hair, your eyes, eyebrows, nose, mouth, etc., etc. And fully customize your character. As you can see, I've tried to make my character look as much like me as I can. Well, you know, I've tried anyway. So that's really good, and you can customize a character at any point in the game in the menu. When you complete events, you get like points, and these points you can then put towards buying new outfits, if you like, for your character. There's a lot of traditional like sporting outfits that you can buy. And there's a lot of like more comical outfits, I suppose, you can buy, like pirate outfits and astronaut outfits, and you name it. There's a whole array of them. So you can buy them and put your costumes on your characters in different events or in all the events. So it's completely up to you. Now, the thing with this game is there are quite a varied number of events, but they're all structured in the same way. You start an event and you can play the game single player, which is absolutely fine. I've played the majority of my time single player. You can go 2 players, or you can go online, and I've tried all of them apart from 2 players. I've played a little bit online, and even though it's sometimes a bit of a struggle to find a match, it can be a little bit frustrating and a lengthy process. I have managed to get online a few times, and it is actually quite fun to play it online. It's probably the way to go, if I'm honest. But basically, it still works out the same way, especially if you're playing single player. You will go into the event, no matter what event it is, and it's kind of structured into ways. There's like a qualifier, there's like the semi-finals, and then there's the final. But you'll find it's kind of structured very, very similar for each event. The qualifier round is really very easy, and it's more like a practice round for you to get used to it. Then it goes on to the semi-finals, and the difficulty goes up a notch, and then it goes into the finals, and again the difficulty goes up another notch. So it's easy to look at it in this way. The qualifier is like easy, then the semi-final is medium, and the final is hard. So it's actually quite a challenge, I certainly found, because the first qualifying round is usually so easy on each event. You think you're going to get a gold medal very, very easily. It doesn't work out that way. This difficulty spike, it does get quite challenging on most of the events, and most of the events are structured in such a way that they're easy controls to remember. For example, the 100-meter sprint is basically just bashing the X button, and then you can do something else with the D-pad to get yourself some more speed. Most of the other events are structured very, very similar, like sprinting with the X button, and then there will be other like button presses that you've got to combine to increase your speed, give you another advantage, and they're very easy to remember. And if you do forget the button controls, it gives you the option of pressing square before each event, and it will remind you what the button controls are for each of them. But they are quite easy to pick up and quite easy to remember, but not always easy to master. Some of them are much easier than others, and some of them are very, very easy to master. Like the 100 meters, for example, is quite easy to pick up. I think where this game falters is where they start playing around with things like baseball and football, and rugby and boxing. These are all in themselves quite complex games, and if you're fans out there of proper baseball games and football games like FIFA and boxing games like Fight Night and things like that, do not go into this game thinking you're getting a deep and in-depth simulation of either of those sports, because you really aren't. It's very basic stuff and quite frustrating and quite clunky, and I think those are probably the worst events. The football one's pretty terrible. I think the same with the rugby, the baseball as well, things like that. And I actually thought the basketball was actually quite good. I quite enjoyed the basketball. Very simple to pick up, very simple to play, but it was quite exciting, the basketball one. But some of them are better than others, as they would on any game like this. I think it's fair to say. I think some of my favourites were judo. I quite liked the judo. I quite liked the table tennis. The normal tennis again was like the football, and the rugby and the baseball. It was pretty clunky and very slow and pretty terrible. I quite like the long jump. I quite like the hammer throw. The hurdles is quite good. So I think like the track and field events are probably the most fun to play, and it's quite nice because the game itself looks quite nice. It's got these clunky, cartoony graphics. It doesn't take itself too seriously. You're competing with men and women in the same events. It's like, it's not split up like at a proper Olympic event. It's just like, have a go at these events and have fun with it. And it is a game you can have fun with it, but it's a little bit overpriced at $34.99 in the UK, I think. But for a nice family party game, it's actually not too bad, but I would definitely wait for a sale. It's quite a decent pick up and play game, but it is definitely nothing special, which is why I will give this one a 6 out of 10. So I hope you found this review useful, guys. Thank you very much for watching.